How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping yet another video. Right, guys, you can tell from the title of the video, the pictures at the beginning and the subsequent CCTV. This video is going to be on the case of Police Inspector Darren Mckie, who's been on trial for murdering his police officer wife, Leanne Mckie. They was married. They just bought a property in Burford Close last year, which they was renovating, and he was alleged to have killed his police officer wife. Now, they both was police officers. He was an inspector based at Stretford Police Station. She worked part-time for Greater Manchester Police in the Serious Sexual Offences Unit, based at, again, Stretford Police Station. So they worked together, they lived together. Yeah, they had 3 children together. And what it was alleged is that in September of last year, like this money, they got into debt and stuff like that. Darren Mckie comes across as a very manipulative, money controlling, coercive sort of behaviour sort of guy. His police officer colleagues called him Spock, nicknamed him Spock and stuff. He was quite underhanded and everything else apparently. Well, his wife ended up being murdered and being dumped in a lake in Poynton Park, not far from from Wilmslow where they lived. Poynton's near Stockport, for those that don't know, near Manchester. And yeah, like, it's just the strangest case, guys. I've watched the case because it's very unusual, a police officer killing a police officer, especially when they're man and wife, right? They got 3 kids together. But the thing is, Darren Mckie and Leanne Mckie were living, he was on £56,000 a year, according to media reports. She was on £16,000 a year. And he was living an extravagant lifestyle. He had a white Audi, I think it was an RS4 or something like that. She had a 2012 Mini Cooper Countryman. They went on expensive holidays. They bought this house. They wanted the best house. They've got like big wooden door on the front door and like massive renovations, shower rooms and stuff like that. There's an Instagram where she actually put all the pictures up of the house, how it was before, during, and then after. They put these massive like French sliding doors at the back of the house and stuff, all very expensive and stuff. But there was a lot of money were owed to builders, plasterers, tilers, builders. Just crazy amounts of money was owed outright. And the thing is, Darren Mckie applied for, he got Leanne's passport, wage slips, like scanned it, sent him to himself, and then tried to forge, right, a loan application for £54,000, right? Leanne picked up this letter at her home address and was like, I've not applied for a loan. So she contacted him, he denied it. So she rang this finance company. They then went through to the fraud team, and he said, and she asked him again in a text message, is it anything to do with you? No. And anyway, his web of lies and deceit and stuff started to unravel. But the strange thing is with the case, and this is, I'm a criminal, guys, I'm a former criminal, right? This is the thing what I can't understand, right? There was no extramarital affair, so he wasn't cheating on her, right? There was no, he wasn't on drugs. There was no gambling addiction. There was no life insurance in place, so there was no motive for him to really kill her, right? But she'd obviously, he was in charge of the money. That's quite abundantly clear. He was quite, it comes across the way I've read it, is it was very controlling, very manipulative, and very take charge of the money and stuff. Leanne Mckie was about 5'7", 5'8". She was about 8 stone, 8.5 stone. He was a karate. He liked his martial arts and stuff, right? He'd been in the police force for 21 years. And the thing is, with the whole case and stuff, right, there was a surveyor that was coming to view the house, right? They'd only moved in about 10 days before because apparently they was renting a property over the road while they carried out the upgrades and the renovation of the property at Burford Close in Wilmslow. But like I say, the web of lies, his lies and stuff, he was applying. He'd obviously maxed out what he could get and stuff, and his name was in the red. So he started to try and use his wife's name and stuff like that. Then he's like, he applied for a loan, and then that was rejected. So he tried again, but then he changed like one of the numbers on the landline and stuff. the thing is, like I said, they was living 56 grand a year, and she was on 16 grand a year. They had 3 kids, right? And they were still living above their means, expensive holidays, expensive house renovations, nice cars, nice holidays, going out for nice food, things like that. So they was living above their means and stuff. He wanted to live a millionaire lifestyle on a police inspector's salary, right? Which it's obviously he can't do, even though he was going to be getting a whack. 56 grand a year is a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? But like I say, guys, so this house, the house was going to be surveyed by someone that was going to value the property, right? It looks like Leanne didn't know that this guy was going to come. He turned up, but Darren Mckie turned back at the house, and I think he ended up breaking her neck in 2 places. She died of asphyxiation, as the pathologist report points out. But he'd actually broken 2 bones in her neck. Now, the pathologist said it was likely caused by a karate chop, like a sort of karate chop. So she didn't have time to do anything. It literally about a minute, and he killed her in that minute, right? Now, like I say, she's obviously confronted him, and he's ended up losing his rag, and he's ended up killing his wife. He then put her body, alleging to media reports and stuff, he then put her body in the boot of her Mini Cooper Countryman, right? Reversed it off the drive. Her body was in the boot. The property valuer guy was going to be coming, like, I think about in the next like 20 minutes, half an hour. He reversed the car off the drive, right? So if she knew that the property valuer was coming, there wouldn't have been an issue. But he killed her, dumped her in the car, put her in the boot in the middle of the day, drove off the drive, drove down Moor Road in Wilmslow, dumped the car, right, with her body in the boot, walked back. That's what you see on the CCTV. He drives her car, he dumps the car down the road, he then walks back, crosses over, goes back to the property valuer comes. When the property valuer leaves and stuff like that, he carried on searching for loans and stuff, right? Went and picked the kids up, and then when the kids were in bed, he then got in the car, he left the house, he left the kids home alone, right? I think the eldest was about, 11 or 9 or something, right? Walked back to the car, got in the car, drove it to Paddock Hill Farm, right, where he was going to dump the body. He ended up dumping her mobile phone there. This is a guy that spent 21 years in the police, right? He had his police phone with him, right? He had his own mobile phone with him, and he had her mobile phone. Her parents have been trying to frantically contact her. We've not heard from you. We're worried and stuff like that. So Darren replied to the family, yeah, it's all right. I spoke to her this morning. She's probably busy, blah, 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 right? He drove the fucking car with a body in it to Paddock Hill Farm. He dumped her phone there. Remember cell site, guys, right? For those that don't know, cell site is where you're pinging off like these cell site things, like you see them all over, where you get your mobile signals from. They bounce off them, right? And it can put you anywhere. Right? I'm a criminal, guys. I know this. This guy had spent 21 years in the police, worked his way up from the bottom to the top, so he should have known these things, right? Dumped the phone there, was going to dump the body in the lake there. There's a triangle, right? I've been down there. There's a triangle. There's like a patch of water, like a little mini, like swamp thingy there. He was going to dump the body there. He thought better of it. Drove the body then to Poynton Park, where he just had a body in bin liner, like all in one piece. Carried her through. When you go into the Poynton Park where the car park was, you can see. There's pictures all over online, guys. You have to have a nosy. He walked in, right, and then you can go this way where there's a path, or there's like woodland here. He went into the woodland, walked round and walked to his jetty bit, and dumped a body in the water there. It was found at about 4:30 in the morning by a dog walker. But between that happening, he got back in the car, drove to Turn Drive, dumped the car there, right. Then he walked from, it was I think it's about 8 or 9 miles, walked back to where he lived. The police saw him twice though on this night, right? First time they saw him, he had trainers on, right? The second time, he had his trainers were gone. Now, the reason he got rid of his trainers is because there was soil on the insoles of his trainers from the actual lake, and there was also spots of blood on his left trainer, but not his right trainer, on some ASIC trainers that he dumped in a wheelie bin close to the family home on Moor Lane. Right, in Wilmslow, two minutes around from it, 2 minutes away from where he lived. Dumped him in the bin. So the police said, well, where are your trainers? And he went, oh, well, they was rubbing me. Right, so he'd walked 8 miles, but all of a sudden he was rubbing him, and he said, "Oh, put him in a bin." And he must have pointed the bin out because they found the trainers on top of the fucking rubbish bag, right? So I can't get my head around it, right? Why dump a body, right? Why dump your wife's body, right, at a lake that's frequented by dog walkers, right? And it's more likely to be seen, right? It backed onto some houses. There was a path. It's very, very frequented place. Very, very likely that it should be found. He's travelling with the mobile phones and stuff. That's cell site, so it bounces off everything. So it puts him there, puts him and his wife's phones together in the same sort of proximity. Dumped a body there. About 4:30 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, a call was made to the police. I think we found a body. The police turned up. It was all sealed off, forensic, scenes of crime, all that sort of thing turned up. Recovered the body. Then the police went back to the address and they arrested him at the property, taking him to question on suspicion of his wife's murder and stuff. And he went no comment in his interview. He dropped a prepared statement. When the trial happened, I think it was on day 9, he refused to give evidence. And then he admitted, right, his defence was trying to be manslaughter, because obviously you get less for manslaughter than you would murder. This is a guy that killed his wife because she found out there was no cheating, there was no life insurance, there was no life policies in place, so there's no monetary gain to be had, right? She simply found out this is the way it looks to me. He simply found out that she had these loans and everything. He was applying for loans in her name. She confronted him and he killed her, right? But it doesn't make sense. Like, there's no monetary gain to be had, right? Like, the debts and stuff, the finance things and stuff like that, the loans and stuff that he tried to apply for in her name were rejected, right? So unless he wanted to kill her to get her off the house so he could sell the house, I'm not sure. But the whole thing, guy, is really, it's the strangest case, right? He refused to give, right? Her parents were in court, right? Probably hoping to find out what actually happened to their daughter, right? God bless Leanne Mckie, may she rest in peace, yeah. Now, what I can't grasp and what I can't get my head around is, like, he refused to give evidence in court, right? And then he's trying to throw in a manslaughter. Oh, well, I plead guilty to manslaughter. I killed her, but I didn't mean to, right? So he's obviously trying to go down the defence route of manslaughter, right? That was rejected by the jury. He's been found guilty. He's going to be sentenced on Tuesday and stuff. The whole case, guys, it's the strangest thing ever. It really, really is. I can't understand the motive. I can't understand how a police officer with 21 years experience took his mobile phones with her and stuff like that. He was sending her text messages from himself, right? Oh, how are you? But it was out of character, right? The text messages he was sending, the way he was wording them and stuff. The police were actually going to section him when they saw him twice. Like I said, the second time he saw him with no trainers, they took him back to his house, dropped him off, thought nothing better of it. And then, like I say, the body was found. The police went back to the address, arrested him on suspicion of murder. He dropped prepared statements. He refused to speak in court. He's not shown an ounce of remorse or regret. He didn't give any closure to Leanne Mckie's family. They've turned up at the trial, probably hoping we'll find out what her last movements were, why he killed her, why he dumped the body there, where he went, what route did he take. He wouldn't play ball for the police. He was trying to frustrate the police, but he told them where the trainers were. They found the trainers, which were bloodstained on the left thingy, on the left trainer, not on the right. He didn't. So he could have destroyed. He could have destroyed his trainers. Right, he could have left his mobile phones at home with the internet running, which would have cell-sited him to home. This is a guy with 21 years experience in the police, right, and knows he's got more experience. I'm coming at it from a criminal's perspective, but he's coming from the police officer side, where he'll know about cell site and all these other things, right? So why didn't he think accordingly? I can't get it. A 21-year experienced officer, right, turned police inspector that had rose through the ranks, right, but yet didn't use his brain. He was driving a car, it set off ANPR cameras and stuff down there, like that, in the area and stuff like that. I can't get my head around it. But like guys, the case is gonna conclude on Tuesday. The evidence, she was like I say, was found guilty today by a majority of 11-1. There's 12 on the jury, so 11 for murder, 1 might have gone manslaughter, but it was massively outweighed and stuff. So he's going to be sentenced on Tuesday. He's given no, like I say, he's been a cold, he's shown no remorse. All this will go against him. He pleaded not guilty. He's ran trial, so he won't get any credit at all. The fact he was a police officer should have known better. The judge should throw the book at him. He's in HMP Liverpool, Walton Jail. People they hate in prison: child murderers, paedophiles, rapists, police officers. He'll be getting some shit inside, guys. Like I say, my thoughts, my prayers with Leanne Mackie's family. I hope she rests in peace and stuff. I'm sorry that you weren't able to find out what happened to her. And like I say, it's left 3 children without a mother and without a father now because he's in prison. Right, guys, I'm going to leave this video here, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Speak to you all soon. Bye.